Oh, good afternoon, art heroes. It's so good to see everybody. If you get a chance, please like, share, and comment on this video to help reach more people. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to create a beautiful and colorful butterfly design today, and we're going to focus on a principle of art today called balance. We're going to have two different kinds of balance in our artwork today. The first kind of balance that we're going to focus on is called symmetrical balance, or you may have heard that word before. I know it's kind of a big word for some of my younger students. Symmetry, or something that is symmetrical. Symmetrical means that something is the exact same on both sides. So if we look at this butterfly that's sitting in front of us, one side of our butterfly, this wing over on this side, is going to be the exact same on the other side. That is what's known as symmetrical balance. So we're going to focus on that today. We're also going to focus in on another type of balance, and that's going to be focused on color balance. We are going to try to balance our colors on our artwork so that there's an even amount from both sides of the color wheel represented. And we're going to use our color wheel to help us out with that today. I've got this color wheel here, but what I did is I cut this color wheel in half. So I'm going to take this color wheel apart. So I've got two halves of my color wheel. And what this does is it separates my warm colors from my cool colors. So when we get to our color balance, we're going to use warm colors and cool colors together in our artwork to create a balanced color scheme within our artwork. And it's going to be really neat in the way that we do that here in the future. So as I put that color wheel together, I've got that set. So now that color wheel is made up of both the warm and the cool colors. So we're going to focus on those two types of balance. Balance is a principle of art. The principles of art are made up of various elements of art. Elements include simple things like elements are kind of like the ingredients, and the balance is how you mix those ingredients together. That's kind of how I use it, because the kids always make fun of me because I use food references a lot. And I joke with them a lot because Mr. Keltz is always hungry. So some of our elements that we're going to focus on today are line, shape, color. We're going to even focus a little bit on value and space as well. So we'll be using all those elements, mixing them up together in our big bowl, and getting our KitchenAid ready to mix them all up with our different ingredients. So I hope you guys are ready. We're going to start our lesson today by getting just a normal sheet of paper. I'm using printer paper. You can use any kind of paper that you have available. I'm going to set it in front of me so that way it is a long ways, kind of like our landscapes were landscape view in front of us. I'm going to set it just like that. And I'm going to take the short side of my paper and fold it over to the other side, doing like a book fold. Alright, so what I'm going to do first, now that I got my paper folded, on the side that has the fold, this is the side that we're going to start working on. And I'm going to get a pencil ready. I'm going to put my finger right on the edge of this fold, right here in the middle. And I'm just going to raise my finger up a little bit. I don't want to raise it up too high to the top. I'm just going to raise it up from the middle a little bit. I'm actually going to draw a half circle right around my finger right there. So now I'm going to start down below that circle, and I'm going to make a stretched out oval shape. And this is going to be the body for our butterfly. We've got the head and the body. At the top, we're going to put one antenna coming out. We're going to make a long antenna that kind of comes up diagonally like this. And what I like to do is I like to put like a little round teardrop shape at the top, or a little round circle area there. Makes it get a little bit bigger at the top, and that will make our antenna for our butterfly. Right here, I'm going to find a spot right here in the middle of the butterfly's body, and I'm just going to draw a horizontal, that means flat line, that comes out of the side of the body right here. But I'm going to leave about a few inches of space right here before I stop. I don't want to go all the way to the edge of the paper, because I want this part of the wing to be the part of the wing that's going to be dented in a little bit. It'll make our wings look a little bit more realistic, like a butterfly's wings. At the top of our butterfly's body here, I'm going to draw a diagonal line that's going to curve a little bit at the top. And I'm going to try to get it as close to the top corner of my paper as I can without going off the page. So I'm going to bring this diagonal line up like this. And I'm going to curve it just a little bit, kind of like it's going to the corner of my paper. Now at the bottom, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to make it diagonal towards the bottom of my paper. And I'm going to make this one a little bit shorter. So when it comes down, it's going to curve a little bit, but I'm going to stop it about halfway through my paper right here. I'm just going to bring this line down. Once I get about right there, I'm going to stop. All right, on this side of our butterfly's wing, I'm going to turn around like this. And I'm going to make 2 curved bumps. I'm going to make a big curved bump. It's going to come down like this. It's just going to curve down. It's going to come towards the body a little bit, just like that. And once I get to here, I'm going to make another little bump that bumps out, and it's going to touch this middle line right here just a little bit, just a little curved bump. If yours doesn't look exactly like mine, it is totally okay, because I've seen a bunch of different designs for butterfly wings out there. So if yours looks different than mine, it is okay, because butterflies all have different designs. From the bottom, I'm going to curve this line up, and I'm just going to make one curve that connects right there to the middle. So I'm going to bring this line up, curve a little bit, and connect it as it curves in. Notice I curved out and then I curved in a little bit. And we're going to make it so that we have a little edge on the inside of the wing, and we're going to use that to color that in a little bit. So I'm going to start just underneath this top line of my wing right here, and I'm going to start drawing inside. I'm going to keep pretty close to that other one. I'm just leaving a little bit of space in between that. And I'm coming up here around to the top, and watch what I do here. Towards the end of the wing, I'm going to give it a little bit more space there. So I'm going to start to curve it in a little bit before I get to the corner, and I'm going to stop it right there. See how I gave it a little bit more space right here at the edge? Some butterflies have some really cool polka dot circle designs right here on the edges of their wings. I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to start bringing it down just like this. And I'm going to have it get a little bit closer as I go down. And I'm going to go all the way along the side, all the way to the bottom. It's almost like I'm making a wall around the inside of these wings with this second line. And I'm going to turn around just like I'm following my outside line, and follow it all the way back to the butterfly's body right there. This line that I've got right in the middle, I'm going to do the same thing. Now you can pick either above or below to put your second line. It's up to you. I'm just going to put this one above and draw another line that comes like this, and it's going to bump into this other line that I made over here. And we've got these extra lines in here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use a little bit of eraser, and this pencil line right here, it's in the middle. I'm going to erase that out of there, and I'm going to erase this line out of there too. So these all connect together to make one area. So I've divided this into 2 shapes. Now I get to divide my butterfly wings into some other smaller shapes, and I'm always going to use 2 lines to do that. I'm going to use 2 lines that seem to go almost parallel with one another as they move across the butterfly's wings. I'm going to start with one right here in the middle at the top. I'm going to make this go all the way up to the top of my butterfly wing. So I'm going to make this curve. It goes up and bumps into the top, and I'm going to give it a second one that's kind of close by, just like this. Kind of like I'm, making a pathway or a road through the butterfly's wing right there. And when you connect it to a spot, you can take just a little bit of your pencil eraser and just erase that little spot right there at the end. You can do that as many times as you want. But let me give you this little tip. The more that you make, the longer it's going to take you to finish. So just remember that. It's okay that you do a lot, but the more that you make, the longer it will take. So I'm going to make 2 right here that go to the edge. You can make some up here if you wanted to in the top part of the wing. I'm going to skip that though. I'm just going to put 2 down here at the bottom like this. And I'm going to take the eraser, and the very ends, I'm going to make it look like these lines are all part of one another, like they all run into each other by taking these erasers and just erasing the very ends where they connect together, breaking this up into all these little pieces. You can go ahead and do the same exact thing to the bottom of the wing. I'm going to The last thing that we're going to do before we start outlining our work is if you want to add some patterns into some of these spaces, you can. You don't have to. You could actually leave yours just like this. If you like the way that yours is designed, you can leave it just like this. I'm going to add a few patterns to mine and leave some of mine open. I'm just going to create a zigzag line up here, and it's going to create this triangular like pattern in the top right here. And once I bump those edges, I'll have a nice zigzag pattern in there. This section, I'm just going to put some curving lines that just curve right here. This section, I'm going to make straight lines. So anytime you repeat an element of art, you're creating a pattern. Something that goes, repeats itself is a pattern. And I'm going to go over here, and you know what? I'm going to make some curves here as well. Just make some curves. In this little circle area down here, I'm going to make it look like one of these where I start with a small circle, and then I have a bigger circle around it, and then a bigger circle around it. Now this is going to be tricky because my circle is going to start going out of my space, so I have to make it kind of disappear as it goes out like that. I'm going to leave these spots open. I can use my crayons to color those in later. We're going to switch over now to a black permanent marker, and we're going to use this black marker to trace all of our pencil lines as carefully as we can. Remember, students, you want to make sure that you're following your pencil lines as accurately as you can. You don't want to move too slow, but you want to go all over those pencil lines. Remember, it's probably a good idea to have a scrap piece of paper underneath your artwork, so that way the marker doesn't go through your paper and onto your drawing surface or your kitchen or coffee table. We're going to trace all of these lines that we've got. Marker. When you guys are done with outlining your pencil lines, you can actually take an eraser or use the one that's on the back of your pencil, and anywhere that you see some of these pencil lines sticking out, you can take your eraser and you can erase that. Or if you see a spot that you missed and you want to fix it, you can take an eraser and fix it up, clean up your artwork really nice. One thing I am going to change on the outside is I'm going to draw some lines on the outside for the background. You can really make these lines any way that you want. The important part is you need to make an even number of lines. So even number, I'm going to focus on 6 because 6 is an even number. So I'm going to start right here on my wing, and I'm going to make a curve line this time, and it's going to go all the way to the edge of my page. And I'm going to make another one right here at the top. So this is 2. So I made 6 lines using my marker. I didn't even draw them with pencil first. I just used my marker and just had them go out to the edge. If you look at my other example, I just did straight lines that came out to the edge. But you can make yours the way that you would like it. One last thing that I want to add to my wing is I'm going to make some little circle patterns on this outside. You don't have to do this part if you don't have enough room, but you can just make some circle patterns in the outsides of your butterfly wing. You can make some go all the way to the bottom if you want to have some coming into the bottom here. You can make all different kinds of little circles on the edges of your wings. But it's up to you. It's your design. The tricky part is, we have to get everything that we just did onto the other side of the paper. The problem is I'm having a really hard time seeing through my paper. You might be able to see through your paper if you set it down in front of you and really look for all your lines, because what we need to do is, since this is symmetrical, it's going to be the same on the other side too. So I'm going to look at my artwork, and if I can see through my paper, you guys can go ahead and try to trace your black lines on this side, but I'm having a real hard time seeing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my artwork into my living room, and in my living room I have a back door. The back door to my porch has a big glass window in it, and the light shines through that window really easily. I'm actually going to use that window to help me trace the other side. Now, if you don't have a large glass door anywhere in your house, maybe you have a big, like a screen door on your front porch that's all made of glass, you can use that. You can pull the blinds up on a window, and you could use a window to a bedroom to do this. Some artists have what's called a light box. Basically, it's a plastic or wooden box that has a piece of glass on the top, and inside of it there is a light, and it has a switch, and you can plug it in, and you can use a light box to do some artwork using some tracing methods. We're going to trace this butterfly onto the opposite side of our paper, but we're going to use this glass window to help us with this part. So I'm only going to use a pencil. Do not use a Sharpie for this. Just in case the Sharpie were to go through the paper, we want to make sure we stay safe with that and not to mess up our window in our house. So I'm going to take my pencil. I brought a couple extras just in case, and I've got my butterfly here. I'm going to flip my paper over to the other side, and you can see, you can already start to see through that paper some. I'm going to place my artwork right on the glass, just like this, and I can easily see my lines now for my drawing. All the designs that I put in the wings of my butterfly here. Butterflies are symmetrically balanced. That means they're the exact same on both sides. So I'm going to trace as carefully as I can all these Sharpie lines that I see with my pencil. Let's start with the head here. Go down through the body, just like that. Go ahead and put this long skinny antenna on the top there, with a little circle on it. And I'm going to take my time and trace all of these lines. If you have to turn your paper as you do it to make sure that you can stay on your lines, whatever you need to do to make it easier for you to trace your butterfly. And I'm putting this on the opposite side, that back side of my paper. And I can see right through the paper onto the other side using the glass of this back door. So I'm going to keep on tracing. A way to check to make sure that all of your tracing has been done is if you lift up just the top piece of the paper, unfold it, and double check to make sure all of your lines have been traced over. Just a little spot here. And once you're done, you can take a look at your drawing. You can open it up and double check. But I have everything transferred after I unfold the paper. Everything transferred over here onto the other side. And now I'm going to go back to my drawing table, get my black permanent marker back out and ready. I'm going to trace over each and every one of these pencil lines to match this side of my artwork. Now, while we have our markers out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my butterfly image now. Oh, that looks super awesome now that I've got it opened up on the page. Once I've got it outlined, you've got these really cool designs happening on your page, and notice the symmetrical balance. One side is exactly the same. We're going to use our Sharpies to do a little bit of color. We're going to color in the butterfly's body. So we're also going to color in the head. And the last thing I'm going to use for my black marker is all these little lines that I made to separate my artwork. I'm actually going to take my marker and I'm going to color those in. So last step is we are going to use our color to color this in. And you can see this example that I finished the other day. I drew it a little bit differently, but I colored it in. And what we're going to do is we're going to first organize our colors. And I'm going to use my color wheel here to help me. So I'm going to take my colors and I'm going to choose. I'm actually going to dump all my crayons out. I got a 24 pack here. Colors that we're not going to use. We're not going to use black. We've already used black with our marker. We're not going to use gray. So if you have any gray, you don't have to use that one. This white color, I'm not going to use white. And this brown color, I'm not going to use those. Those are called the neutral colors. We're just going to take those. I'm going to put them right back in the crayon box. We're not going to use those neutral colors for this. But now what I have is I have the other colors of the color wheel. And I'm going to take them and I'm going to divide them into the warm colors on one side and the cool colors on the other side. And the way that I determine that is I look for the representation from the colors. So I've got this one that's kind of like a blue-green color. That seems to go well with my blue side. So any of them that look to be blue crayons, you can take and you can put them over on the cool side. Also, I've got the violet right here. So any of them that look purple or violet, I'm going to take them, kind of match them up over there. Now the green ones, I'm going to take the green ones that I've got, match them up with the green. Same thing on this side with the warm colors. I'm going to match up the ones that appear to look red. Everybody asked me, what about pink? Pink is actually just a lighter color of red. So we can actually put pink right there with our red family. We can take all these ones that kind of look orange right here. These orange crayons can go in our orange category there. And we got one yellow. We can put our yellow one there. Now, there's always two that seem to confuse a lot of people. There's red, violet. Red is a warm color, and violet is a cool color. So you as an artist get to make a choice. Same thing with green, yellow. You as an artist get to make the choice. What you can do is you can grab a scrap piece of paper. Here, I'm going to flip over the back of my color wheel, and you can test the colors. Well, this yellow-green looks a lot like yellow. So I'm going to leave it over here with the yellow one. And this one over here, I'm going to test this out. That could be either or, but since I put the yellow-green over on this side, I'm going to put this one on the cool side. So those two that are kind of right in the middle and have warm and cool both in them, you as an artist get to decide which one they're going to be a part of. So I've got my cool colors and I've got my warm colors all organized, ready to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to color the inside of my butterfly wings with one of those color families. And I'm going to color the background of my artwork with the other color family. So this time I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to put the cool colors inside the butterfly wing. So I'm going to move my warm colors off to the side, get my cool colors ready. And you can color these in any which way that you would like. Keep thinking about your patterns though. So if you want to create a pattern, you could have patterns going back and forth. I'm going to use these two colors to start off. And I'm just going to have a pattern go back and forth right here with my crayons. I'm going to go over to the other side and color it the exact same way over here. So I'm going to go through and in the inside of my wings, all I'm gonna do is focus on these cool colors. When you get done adding all your color on the inside of your butterfly wings with whichever half of the color wheel that you chose to do it with, you're gonna put that half of your colors back in your crayon box or marker box or wherever you got it out of, and then you will get your other side of your color family. For me, it's gonna be my warm colors. And I'm going to color my background using a pattern of warm colors. I think I'm going to leave my finished copy up here. I cannot wait to see what yours look like. So once you get your artwork finished today, don't forget to please share and post a picture either on Facebook or in the comments under this video so I can check out what you've done and I can share it on my page with everybody else. Guys, I'm so glad that you guys stuck around with me for this, and I know this lesson took a little bit more time just because there's a lot more elements to it. So take your time, finish up your coloring. Until next time, folks, we will see you all very soon.